But today I had an experience, and I thought tonight I thought, I'm going to share this experience because we're all human, right? And I think that it's a really great example of seeing both sides of a situation where we are allowed to just be ourselves, but then at the same time understand and appreciate where the other person's coming from as well, right? And that's one of these instances. And so here's what happened with me. And I hope that uh, my intention for this is that I hope that other people can see these things in their life as well, and it so that there's a balance created, right? There's a balance of an understanding, at least from your perspective. We can't really control what other people do. So, but here's the story. Last week, I went over to the library. It gave me a chance to get out of the house and do work from somewhere else and just be in a different environment. And I needed to record some videos. And so I had taken my computer and such, and I rented a little room. And they have a 2-hour limit. And the woman that checked in, she was very short with me, right? And of course, I was in a hurry. I didn't like the things that I was hearing from the woman, like, we can only have 2 hours. I can't, like, if there's nobody there, I can't just use it for apply or reserve it for another 2 hours. I could only have it for 2 hours each day, right? And so I got a little upset by it. And then the lady got upset because when she showed me the room, I had just set one of my bags down that had all my stuff in it in the room, and she wanted me to like bring it back out to the desk and carry it back in. And I just left it in the room. And I didn't really fully understand exactly what she was saying until she went and got the manager. And the manager came into his room, and as I was setting things up, and she said, I just want to explain that you can only have this room for 2 hours minimum or maximum for the whole day. And I said, and so that's when I found out from the other lady, regardless, if there's nobody in the library and nobody wants, and there's 17 rooms available, I can't use this room for extra time. I can't be here longer. She said, no, I'm sorry, that's not our policy. And I looked at her and I was like, it didn't make sense to me, right? It did not make sense to me. And I kind of got a little, to me, it's like, if there's space, let somebody use the space, right? So over the past week, I was really started thinking about it, and I thought, they want them for like teenagers, for them to go in, or people to go in, for kids get together. I noticed in these rooms today, kids are getting together in these rooms, and they're doing whatever, they're studying or they're chatting or whatever teenagers do, right? They're doing that in these rooms with the door closed. And I noticed it when I was walking out from the first time that I had it. And I thought, Lesley, that's interesting, And then at first I thought, they're just in there screwing around. I could use it for, my important stuff. But over the past week, I've really contemplated on it a lot. And I thought, you know what, Lesley, you are really kind of being selfish. Those are the rules. You need to understand it. And, they have a right to these things too. And then I thought a little bit deeper on it. And I thought, I'm actually really glad that they have this rule and this agenda in place, and that these kids have a place to go to get together in groups, like a library. They're safe in this library. And as the more I thought about it, the more I thought, you know what? This is actually a really good thing. And I didn't beat up on myself or feel bad about it. I just really took and looked at it from a different perspective. And I thought, this is quite amazing. And I was really actually very pleased. So today, I went into the library. And as I was walking in, I just kind of said a little prayer, God, I hope I see this. I hope I see that manager again, because I would really like to apologize to her. Because I know I wasn't mean, but I was a little bit more I wasn't as accepting, as friendly, as cooperative as I could have been, right? because I didn't understand. And sometimes I think that that happens to all of us. But lucky for me today, I did see her. And I said, I'm really glad that I saw you, that I'm seeing you. And so I said, do you have a moment? She said, yeah. We went over and we sat down and chatted for a minute. And I said, I owe you an apology. I said, I really thought about this. And at first it didn't make sense to me. But as I think about it, as I thought about it longer, it does make sense to me. And I want to thank you for providing this service. It really makes a lot of sense. And it's really a good thing. So I said to her, I said, it's not that I don't, what I had was very important, yes, but realizing from another perspective, from where I was standing, if nobody's there, you still can't use it. I didn't understand that. But when I looked at it from a different perspective, I thought these kids are sitting in these rooms rather than being on the street, right? Or not getting together and socializing when this is very important at this time and phase in their life. But I guess the whole point is that we all can look at a situation from different perspectives, and my perspective wasn't wrong, but neither was the perspective and the purpose behind these rooms being reserved. I was looking at it as if nobody's around, what's the problem? And this woman's looking at it, and the librarian's looking at it more as providing a service to everyone. Like there's massive people around, right? So I think that the whole point is that understanding that different people see things from a different perspective. Right? We all see things from a different perspective, and really to take that into consideration as we start to, navigate our way through life and navigate our way through certain situations. Because I think it's really important to be able to see both sides of it. Otherwise, we might tend to get upset. And actually, the librarian, she really thanked me today. She said, thank you, Lesley. I just never really, she didn't see my side and I hadn't seen hers. But as we sat and chatted today, we got a view from each person's perspective. And I think that it made a huge difference in our interactions. And as I walked out this time today, when I left this afternoon, I actually thanked her. I said, thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And she said the same to me and smiled. So our interactions with each other, instead of having like that avoidance or that uncomfortable feeling within us when I left, right? It was an interaction between two people that gave us both an opportunity to grow. And the reason I'm sharing this is on a broader perspective too, is this is what it means to live from the inside out, right? To really look inside of yourself, because there was that uncomfortable part of me, and I was feeling rather, I was kind of angry and I was kind of frustrated because I didn't really understand the other side of it. But the more I looked inside of myself, like, Lesley, why are you getting so angry? Why are you getting so angry? And I could use all these reasons justifying my side and my perspective and my point. But when I stopped and I took a look at her perspective, I took a look at the other side of it, right? And I could see in the environment where these kids were sitting in these rooms and they were being more loud and kind of horsing around and playing. And it actually was very comforting to me to know that, at least they're in there, they're safe, they're having fun, and they did have books there and the books were open. Not sure what study was going on, but they were having a good time and they were safe, and that's what kids need. And after being locked up for so long, and so many kids and so many people isolating and really not interacting with each other, it gave me a different perspective, right? So I think that sometimes when something's really uncomfortable within us, if we could just take a step back and look at the environments, right? And look at a broader perspective to see and try to look at it from another point. It really does add value to us. I really think that it add values. It taught me a great deal about myself, that I was impatient, I was being selfish in a way, and that if I would have, so the next time, by apologizing to her, it eased that that tension that I was having inside of me. Otherwise, I would have seen her and I would have kind of avoided her, right? But now I can just walk up to her and I feel better inside about me and about my interactions. And I believe that, I could sense within her a sense of relief, a sense of comfort, like there wasn't the tension there like it was before. I know that it's hard to address certain things, with people. And I think that hopefully it gave an example, to her to say, that maybe, she will see in her life opportunities to do the same, to see where there's misunderstandings and where, we can go in and really take the time to broaden our perspective, to really see things from another point of view, and that way it makes life a lot easier, right? Because we're all here to learn and grow from each other, and when there are disagreements or misunderstandings, or when our perspective is, or our views and our opinions don't match what another person's is, at least a common ground could be found, right? A common ground could be found. It wasn't about compromising. This is about seeing where the other person was coming from and appreciating not only my perspective, but also where she was coming from as well. So I hope that this video helps you somewhere in your life where you're doing, where you're interacting with people. And, sometimes we don't understand, and it's not about compromise to find, a common ground. Sometimes it's about really being able to see both sides of the story and being okay with it, right? It just, oh, well, I wasn't wrong and neither was she. Because there's always seems to be a blame or a shame, like it's either your fault or it's mine. Sometimes, or most often, it's nobody's fault. It's just two people seeing a situation from a different point of view.